So this clip I'm about to play you came out 6 months ago. It's one of the reasons why I did not support RFK Jr. Everybody talking about it now, just afraid he's going to get appointed by Trump. So everybody who's talking about it now are only talking about it for a political reason. They want to find a way to get black people upset so they could weaponize black people against RFK Jr. They're hoping a person like Tim Black doesn't speak up and tell the truth. So let's run this clip. I'm going to come back to this point later. But it's important for us to move forward. Don't start trusting the gay peoples and the sheep herders for the Democratic Party. Not even because of what this dumb white man says. The dumb white man's about to say dumb things. White man things. Who don't know shit. A good white friend of mine yesterday hit me up just and said, Tim, I'm a big supporter of your show, man, and I love you, and I love your message. But I never really know what you go through, brother. I can't. I'm white. That's a smart white man. We gotta stop being played. First of all, I love Angela Stanton. I love her. I support that sister. I want you to look at the body language of the people in that room. That's not the security. Look at them. What is RFK Jr. talking about? Well, RFK Jr. is advising black people on racism and trying to help us better deal with racism.
Human nature. What you can do is you can make kids resilient against it. And the way you do that is by giving them a great education so that they know that they have potential. And the other thing is to give them business models, role models, and opportunities within their own neighborhood. You know, black men who are running barbershops, who are running bars, who are running dance studios, who are running local businesses, restaurants, etc., and who are part of that community. And you know, when I was a kid, my uncle was the first Irish Catholic president of our country, and when he ran for president, there was a tremendous resurgence in anti-Catholic sentiment in this country, and a resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan. I remember crosses being burned when I was a kid against an anti-Catholic president. A lot of other, I was called.
Why is he talking? Why is RFK Jr. talking about this? Why can't nobody go over and get him? Why is no one stopping him from doing this to himself? This, my friends, is a tragedy. A travesty and a tragedy combined. In the middle, I kind of switch words. It's a travesty. Black people could run a barbershop. Fuck racism. You can run a barbershop. You ain't got to let racism win. You can own your own plumbing business. And you can work 18 hours a day and barely make minimum wage when it's all said and done because you can get no investors and you got to use your regular old car. Look, man. Black Americans are not doing well in this country. RFK is not saying he's going to fight for you in this country to make that a difference, to make a difference in that. He's just going to tell you this, you know, you just need to be tough. Be tougher, toughen up. You know, toughen up. He's not going to fix nothing for you. It's impossible. It's unfixable. Racism is unfixable. Therefore, you got to just beat racism because, and that's it, man. You can go on a barbershop or nail shop or something.
A Mick, a mackerel snatcher, all these anti-Catholic slurs when I was a kid.
Being Catholic is not the same thing as being black. Nobody knows you're Catholic when they look at you, sir. You shut up, nobody know. I bet if I came on this show, didn't say nothing, didn't say the word black, you'd still know I was black. Now, that may work for me with some people. Yeah, it may work for me with some people. You know, they may be looking for a black commentator with a bald head, a loud voice, and a fancy sweater that didn't cost a lot of money, believe me. But this is foolishness, guys. Please keep in mind why this came out today. Why they talk about this? Why they come out? Why did Roland go on this rant, cursing and spitting at the camera as if he ain't never heard white people have bad ideas about race? As if the Democrat ain't full of a bunch of white people with bad ideas about what to do about racism. You would have thought that Roland just found out there's white people with bad ideas. I mean, Roland, all you had to do is listen to Joe Biden talk about race if you want to really be upset. But I know you could not be upset when he talked, because then you wouldn't get them big checks. Would you, Roland? No. You want to be upset about race? You can start with your own party, sir. But I know. What aboutism? We talking about this that came out back in Black History Month. It's damn near 2025. We talking about a clip that came out and hit Black History Month in 2024. But okay, let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going, because Roland wants to cuss and spit about what RFK Jr. is talking about, who ain't got no business talking about it at all. But let's go.
But it never bothered me. If somebody called me that, I would think that guy's got a problem. But I didn't think I have a problem. And that because I had a great education, I had a family who loved me, I had role models in my country, I had confidence in my own future. Oh, you know, those kind of things had no impact on me. And that's the kind of resilience that we want to give.
RFK Jr. is 70 years old. He grew up in Jim Crow. Yeah, man, Jim Crow is a little bit different than some white guy calling you a Mick. This RFK Jr. is talking about growing up, and somebody saying no Catholics allowed, no mix. Nobody knew it was Catholic unless they knew his family, unless they ran their mouth. Besides that, remember, we're talking about when people had to sit on the back of the bus, when black people, we were getting church bombings, when all types of horrible things, and civil rights leaders were being shot in the head. We couldn't vote. We couldn't walk down the street without being harassed in some places. All these things were happening to black people. This guy's comparing the fact that somebody called him a Mick one time and he just didn't let it get to him because he had an education. So like there's like, if we want to spend, we can spend some time, and I don't want to skip past it because we got to roast him. But I just want to put it in context, like he don't know what the hell he's talking about. And I'm looking at the black people in that room, and I'm wondering, why are these black people saying something? I see somebody looking down at their phone. These people are mystified. Like, I want this money, but Jesus, I didn't know he's going to be this dumb. I had no idea RFK Jr. was going to be this tone deaf on race. He come from the Kennedy family. I thought he knew something. Why is he this bad on race? Jesus Christ. Folks, a lot of people are bad on race, particularly white people that are white, that aren't black. And you know who also is bad on race? A lot of black people who with money. You know who's also bad on race? A lot of people that look like black Americans but are from other countries. They're bad on it too. So let's keep going, but I just want us, let's be mature about this. I'm about to hit you with some bangers. Let's go. Come on, Robert.
The black American children, so that they have so much confidence in their own future that when they do encounter the inevitable racism, that it will bounce off them, that they'll be, you know, like the Avengers, they'll be immune to it.
Man, I know he said he did heroin when he was in something, or are you doing it now, sir? The Avengers is a cartoon, sir. There are no real Avengers. Racism doesn't bounce off. I mean, and look, guys, and this is important, guys, and we can go over this. Look, racism is not the problem. It's when you are discriminated against and you're unable to accomplish your goals in ways you might not even know. It's the job you don't get, but you don't know why. it's the approval for the loan you don't get, then no one says why. It's the lesser value for your property. It's not being able to acquire certain property. It's a lot of things, okay? But what we are not talking about, and what I think he's talking about, is a person's individual opinion of you. That, sir, ma'am, ladies, people, my people, family, that's not important to us. We beyond that. We're not on what some individual white person thinks about us. That's not the type of racism. We're talking about racism that affects departments, that affects hiring practices, that affects so many things, okay? So this is the usual don't know what he's talking about white guy. He might actually think he means well. He wants to have a different take. I get it. He's saying the only way we can prepare black people is to get them fortified to deal with the world the way it is. One thing now, if Angela Stanton was saying this, that'd be different. If I'm saying that it's different because I have a shared experience with you, and I know of which I'm speaking of because I'm walking through that. Now, a rich black person who hasn't grown up a certain way might not even have the same grounds. They will be almost as bad as RFK Jr. But he clearly is out of his depth here. There are things I can't talk about without any authority because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not in those shoes. He's not citing any statistics or any data. He's just talking. The man is just talking. You Trump supporters, stop jumping out the gym on this. He's wrong. He is wrong. I don't agree with Roland on a lot of stuff. All I know is about Roland's rant. I did not watch it. I know he was yelling and spitting and cursing, and I saw some goofy person say, Roland was right to cuss him out. Now, Roland feel the heat around the corner coming from some of us in the new black media. So Roland tries to score points with you with a lame layup. Somebody probably sent this to Roland because that's what they do. You won't be surprised. The white guys, the white boys send black guys content to do. Roland didn't go find this. Roland didn't do the work. Someone sent him this shit. I've seen others get sent stuff like the Bloomberg gotcha that Benjamin Dixon used. Because some of them white boys reached out to me before they reached out to Ben Dixon. Remember that a couple years ago when Bloomberg got sandbagged about the stop and frisk tapes and all that shit? Remember that? Well, some white boys picked that out. I think it was Klippenstein or whatever the names are. Yeah, they're the ones that uncovered that. Kyle Kalinske and those guys, they had it. They were like, what black guy can we give this to? Because we need somebody black to break this, to break the back of Bloomberg. And we don't want, be better if a black person did it. They reached out to me and then they reached out to Dixon. Dixon did it, not me. As you know. So this is the same thing that's going on with this particular tape with RFK Jr. This is a gotcha moment. It doesn't help us. All they're trying to do is shut him down because he's going up against the health companies. He's going up against the food manufacturers. Do you understand? Now, Roland won't say a fucking word about what's happening with our food and with those insulins and the vaccine shots, with the vaccines and all the vaccinations for the children. He won't ever discuss it. He won't discuss that or our healthcare system, what's happening with that, the corruption and the robbery and the thievery and all the other things that are plaguing the black community from that, because that comes from big-time donors that grease the palms of the Democratic Party. But he will talk shit about this unrelated topic that's a non-issue. RFK Jr. will not be president, okay? The election is over. This is a horrible display for RFK Jr., but it's a dumb white guy display. Something that when you get beyond, you out your depth, you had no reason speaking on something, you don't know what you're talking about, you can't read the room. Every black person in this room with RFK Jr., all of these people here, they're all saying the same things without saying nothing. They're all saying, shut up. Their eyes are all saying it. Even the security guard in the back is like, what the hell is this dude talking about? But RFK can't read the room. He don't have a rhythm. He don't know the energy. So I'm not defending him in any way. If anybody says I'm defending him, you are a damn liar. I'm not defending RFK Jr. But what I'm saying, what he's trying to do with this, make America healthy again, is a good thing. I would hate to see that destroyed by operatives of the Democratic Party who put this out here to try to discredit him in a non-related thing, a non-related issue. Now, if somebody would have challenged RFK Jr., got in his face and told him what it is, do you think I would have challenged him? I would have challenged him. Challenged him and said, man, you don't know what you're talking about. This is bullshit. And you need to have a strong person, a strong black man or black woman address this issue. We don't need you doing this. You need to sit down and learn. But nobody was able to do that. And if they were, he probably fired there. I don't see them. Maybe they tried. I'm not going to say they didn't try. I can't imagine Angela Stanton standing for this shit long. Her last name is Stanton, but I don't think she would have stood for this without a pushback. She didn't run the campaign. She's just a person in it. Now, once again, this is how the Democratic Party operates. They're trying to, this is a hit job. This is a hit piece on RFK Jr. And you got to decide how much you give a shit. Why they put this out here? To stop the bleeding of black people leaving? Why? Because some white guy told black people some things that were true. You ain't fixing racism. We're trying to mitigate it. We're trying to mitigate it. That's true. He ain't the messenger. He ain't got the right tone. And he ain't talking about nothing that they're going to try to do to mitigate it. That's the problem. But he's right. The Democrats coming out here selling you a bill of goods, talking all this bullshit about Joyful Warrior and all this nonsense, that ain't helping either. That ain't helping either. It just creates a whole industry, a cottage industry of people making money off what we call race hustling. They're not really doing anything for black people other than symbolism and picking up checks. That's Roland Martin. That's what Roland Martin does. And y'all confuse activity for actual progress. It ain't progress. That don't mean RFK's right. He's wrong as hell. He wrong as two left shoes. And I don't know why he jumped out there. That's on him. Let's keep going.
That they'll be, like the Avengers, they'll be immune to it. And then we don't have to stop racism altogether, because we're never going to be able to do that. But we can have children that are not affected by it.
Jesus Christ. Racism is a problem. And it's not, you can't say you won't be affected by it. Are you affected by the weather? He's saying if it's cold outside, put on a coat. Then it won't affect you. You're still affected by it. There's things you can't do in the cold that you can do when it's sunny out. Okay? Maybe you could say do your best to not be destroyed by it. But we're talking, on one side, we're talking about mentality. The other thing, we're talking about accomplishing. We're talking about goals and ambition. Folks, the worst thing about racism in America's historical legacy with racism, in my opinion, is the financial impact on the earning potential of black people and their families. Everyone is not Denzel. Everyone is not Paul Robeson. Everyone is not Obama. What about regular people? Everybody can't be an Avenger, Goofy. Okay? Everyone's not going to be an Avenger. Some people are regular people. Most people are regular people. That's what makes the extraordinary people extraordinary. Okay? You can't tell black people you got to be extraordinary. Hell, you don't tell white people that. You got to be extraordinary. Some of them are just as ordinary as hell if you talk to them and treat them like they're extraordinary. So anyway, once again, we can pick apart RFK on this issue all day. Everybody can feast on the bones of RFK as he gets destroyed. We can roast him and warm our hands to the fire. But it won't change the fact this ain't nothing but a hit job with a guy who's not running for president, for a guy that's now trying to do a different job, which is something that's going to help, hopefully, the food that we put in our bodies and make them meet certain standards. Can you imagine the millions of dollars that are going to be behind stopping him from doing that? Do you want to be on the side of the people that are trying to stop him from doing that? Now, unless he says something like, I want to poison black people. I want to stop black people from achieving. I want to do everything I can to thwart black people. Then we got an issue. But if he ain't saying that, if all he has is a bunch of bad ideas on how we supposed to cope, and it sounds cowardly coming from him, particularly at Kennedy, this does not age well, then we ain't really talking about nothing, because the job he's supposed to be looking at doing, or he's been appointed for, is a job to make America healthier, more healthy, by the food choices, by the foods that are able to be put on our shelves. And I think that's an important issue. Everybody didn't get fat all of a sudden from nothing. Okay, so what I don't want us to be is I don't want us to be sheep herded by a bunch of lousy sellouts who are doing the bidding of the Democratic Party.
That don't internalize it, that don't see it as their problem. They see it as the person whose race is problem. I'm going to say this, a lot of the liberal energy to deal with racism, systemic racism in this country, has been directed at trying to make people so they're not racist anymore through education.
We're not trying to make people not be racism anymore. We're trying to make people have repercussions for their racism when it's put into action. It doesn't matter what your personal bias is unless it hurts other people. Okay? You don't get it at all. This is what happened when you're rich, wealthy, living in a bubble, in rarefied spaces, not around working class black people, or even working class white people. I think there's some working class white people that be listening to this and be like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. They're working class white people that's listening to this shit and going, I don't know everything. I may not know all the members of the Spinners, but I know this was not a good look. You don't even got to be black to call this out. You know, you could tell when something's off. This is like eating potato salad and riding the bus in the summer with the windows up. The AC broke. Something's off. Y'all want to keep going? All right, let's keep going. Jesus Christ.
And through sanctions, through cancellation, whatever, and all of these things are important. But I would say that we're never going to eliminate racism. We are hardwired from the 20,000 generations that humanity...
He keeps saying the same thing. He started off by saying that, and it's really cowardly. All those muscles and no courage. It's sad, RFK. Real talk, man. Now I know why you didn't come on the show, because I would have gave your ass the business. And I guess them hip-hop podcasts you go on, they ain't had no heart, because I'm sure this came out before they had you on. They all sitting around googly-eyed. Here, Kennedy. Here, Kennedy. Yeah, he's somebody who don't know what they're talking about. This guy expects kids to be more courageous than grown-ass people. And since when does America tell white people, white kids, to just get over stuff? When's the last time I even heard that? Shit. all these damn support groups, security blankets, and security dogs, and all. This is a culture of everybody on medication. They can't even deal with their own thoughts, let alone deal with external forces that are calling them names and belittling them and demeaning them for something they couldn't possibly control. The color of their skin. And this guy, his way of saying his workaround is just be bigger and stronger than that. And that sounds good, but it's not going to inoculate you to the problems of it. Okay? That's all it is. It's not going to inoculate you. But at the end of the day, we all had to just overcome. But from a person that's going into government, a person asking for votes, you should have a little bit more up your sleeve then. Do more sit-ups. You should have something more up your sleeve that you need to work better on. You need to be more able to take punches. Talk about cancel culture. Once again, we ain't talking about somebody saying the N-word in front of a Walmart. We're talking about structural problems that stop people from excelling. We're talking about environmental racism where they dump their trash and their garbage in these areas that they call Cancer Row, like in Alabama, where they purposely put toxins, dump toxins places, and now the cancer rate is 10 times more than other towns because of environmental injustice, and that's where poor people live, particularly poor Black people. These are the types of things, no matter how resilient you are, no matter how many times you wake up and look in the mirror and go, I'm Black and I'm the best, and I'm Black and I'm the best. I don't care what nobody think about me. Like that doesn't protect you from the toxic chemicals that were put in the ground from the manufacturing company that instead of its disposing of it properly, could just save money, putting it in the ground, and then it seeps into the water. That is something that government has to take on. That's not something an individual might not even know it's happening and not be able to stop. So, it's very cowardly and lame for a person that wants to run for office. Only comeback is, we need to make sure you get an education. Then you'll be able to fight. We got a lot of unemployed people with college degrees right now looking for jobs, driving Uber, working Instacart and Uber and Amazon with 2 degrees. What are you talking about? That's not solving everything. This guy's stuck in his 60s. He's stuck in his 60s. But like I said, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to go on a long rant about how wrong he is. That's easy. We all know he's wrong. We all know RFK Jr. is wrong. But here, guys, here goes something. Why the people that are pointing out this video, which I also agree is atrocious, it's horrible, it doesn't even have to age well. It was spoiled when you opened it. It was spoiled in the package before you prepared it. These remarks, they turned before you started cooking with them. The ingredients are bad. But let me ask you this. The people that are reporting on this, why weren't they talking about Joe Biden and the Biden administration? Why aren't you talking about the people in power that aren't doing much better for us than this shit? What are you doing? Where was the criticism for Biden on conference calls, Zoom calls, telling black folks, activists, and civil rights advocates and whatnot, you need to be quiet because very soon you need to deal with the Latinos. They get bigger than you. You got to deal with them. You need to shut up. Where was your smoke for him? Where was your smoke for old Jim Crow Joe? Quiet then, huh? See, that's what I'm saying. That's why they don't want to speak truth to power. They want to speak truth to people that aren't in power and then make it a feast to get a bunch of claps from people. And at the end of the day, what does it help? What's it for? You always got to look at what the outcome's for. In fact, this guy, RFK, he didn't just go here. I saw when I was getting this clip together, I saw he said this a couple places. You know, like he went here. Here he is.
You can't eliminate racism by telling people don't be racist. What you can do is we can make our kids resilient. When I was a kid, I was.
See, it's his spiel. It's almost word for word what he said in the other video. He thought this was a great tact because he didn't want to be the guy, didn't want to be up here preaching to black people about how he gonna help fix race relations. Nah, I'm not my bro. I'm not my dad. I'm not my, I'm not my uncle. I'm me. And we don't need to be talking about race. We just need to be making sure you get to go to school so that you can have a good life, even though you're black. That's what we need to do. Because these are the people, and it's a backhanded way to put this shit. It really is. Other people think the same thing. They just never say it. They ain't gonna fix nothing. They ain't even gonna try. What they do is they do stuff like Ketanji Brown Jackson over there. Look at her. Ain't that great? Yay! Okay, now y'all put these boxes away. Go back to doing the jobs you were doing. And you get back in the jail cell over there where you was at. You go back in that horrible neighborhood where everybody's life expectancy is low as shit. Yeah, you go back to doing that. But yeah, look over here though. Look what I got for you. Ketanji, there you go, Ketanji. All right now, how's your husband? All right, see him at the golf course. All right. And that's what we're dealing with. And I'm trying to tell you, a lot of these people don't have much better ideas than this. This is sort of like what it is. And I guess he thought he was being innovative by coming out and saying it. Look, guys, we ain't going to fix it. I'm not going to lie to you like my party usually lies. They lie and tell you they're going to fix something. They ain't going to fix nothing. We need to just make sure you have a good person, a good constitution so that you can withstand whatever's thrown at you, so that you can just push through. It really does not sound that foreign to what my parents told me, but he ain't my parents. He ain't black. He hasn't run up against racism and decided, hey guys, look, we got to find a way to get this paper anyway. It just rolls off differently when somebody of the culture is telling you, giving advice, particularly controversial advice like this. Because people want to hear that you're going to fight for them, not that you want them to fight harder individually for themselves against invisible systems and problems and attitudes that they can't even predict are going to come around the corner. It's just crazy. And it's right. What person can knock down that shit for you? Probably nobody. And if that's the case, what's the point of having a Democratic Party? What's the point of black people voting for it 95% of the time? Why did 92% of black women vote for a party they ain't gonna fix shit? So he thought he was being innovative, cutting edge, bleeding edge, actually. But ain't nobody want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. And if someone black says it, even if some black people think it's cool, the rest are going to call him a sellout. They're going to call him Tim Scott. They're going to say he's Byron Donalds. Because they would rather be sold to bill of goods by the Democratic Party. And all I'm telling you is they don't have our best interests at heart. Let's talk about the money. Is he ever going to get to the money part?
It was my uncle was running for president. He was the first Irish Catholic president. And
oh God, now I got to hear about him being Catholic again. What happened to the Catholics? Were they allowed to get money? Yeah, they were. So, I don't want to hear this. This ain't the same thing. Were Catholics I don't know what happened to what happened in America to Catholics? Did they come get Catholics and put them in? Did they put them in boats and drag them here? Did they force to sterilize them? What happened? They infected them with tuberculosis? What they do? I didn't see the dogs sicked on them. Were there freedom rides for Catholics? I don't know. But anyway, did they go through 100 years of Jim Crow or something? No. So stop talking, but stop comparing your affliction, stop comparing your conditions to someone else's condition. If someone here has diabetes and I say, well, one time I had a cold, right? You know what I'm saying? You on insulin every day or you die? Well, look, I had a cold one time, right? I got sinus problem. I have a sinus problem, and it's real talk, man. I take sometimes I gotta, that's for my sinus, Whew, God, this is a pain in the ass having to do this all the time. You know what I'm saying? I get tired of doing that. So I know exactly how you feel. You guys sit there, how long? 3 hours on the insulin machine? Oh my God. I mean, it takes me almost 3 seconds to do that. When they come up with something better than this? When they gonna come up with something better than this? It took me almost 3 seconds to sniff this thing. See? 1, 2. Yeah, that's just too much time, man. I got other things to do. See how stupid that sounds, RFK Jr.? That's how you sounded, man. Now, this is what I'm hoping. And I'm going to get off this and go back to doing some other content. We ain't going to stay here all day. Look, RFK Jr. was way out of pocket by doing this. This was ill-advised. I don't know who was helping him run his campaign. Now I know why it was kind of hard to find these clips. Lord have mercy, bury them deep. Dig a hole. Put these videos in the hole. Then set fire to the hole. Then drop a drone, set a drone strike on the hole. Then bury it with put on top of it, put as much dirt as possible. Then, because this is horrible. But what RFK Jr. is trying to do now, my understanding is what he's trying to do now is make us more healthy. He wants to do something for the kids. He wants his legacy to be helping kids live better lives through the food that they eat and to make sure that they're more healthy when it comes to the medications and the vaccines that they take. I think that's a noble idea, okay? I think that's a noble pursuit, and I support that. He is up against even the idea of going up against the food industry, going up against big pharma. Like, this guy's taking on a lot. And when I see people come out, and I'm not talking about every commentator, but with certain political operatives like Roland Martin come out and they're really making a big noise about this when this is 6, 7 months, 8 months old, damn near a year old tape. And it's just a bunch of bad, I'm a rich white guy, don't know what I'm talking about, bad talking points. I mean, it's not as offensive as Roland wants it to be. I mean, out of touch, white people have dumb thoughts about race. Who knew? Who knew? But if you belong to a party that's full of people with out of touch thoughts about race, why are you acting so damn surprised? You should be used to it by now. All right, guys. Next story, hit the like button if that made any sense to you. I hope it did. I hope it did. I hope it did. Someone said, Tim Black, you are the anti-Roland Martin. I'll take that. I'll wear that because I am. Yeah, Roland, you got to do a little bit more. Roland, you got to do a little bit more to get that stink off you from that $350,000, which I'm pretty sure is the most you've ever taken, that you've ever raked in for ads on your content. Okay? So, in that softball interview you gave Kamala Harris, followed by the softball interview you gave that other Tiffany Henry. So it's gonna be a minute. When I find out, when we do our investigation and we determine if you took money also from Tiffany Henry, maybe you ran some ads for her as well. I got a feeling you did. We know what you're doing, Roland. You might want to talk to me. I mean, or you could just let the wrecking ball come wreck. Good day to you, sir.
You know what I'm doing in the evenings when I'm not working? I'm catching the Tim Black Show on YouTube. That's right. Sunday through Friday, the Tim Black Show live streams live. We got a great community. We're kept up to date in the news, and we chop it up. So be here, Sunday through Friday, on the Tim Black Show live streams. I see you there.